Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we will talk about the weirdest stat lines in NFL history. But before we begin, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All professional athletes are apt to produce some amazing stat lines because that is exactly why they are playing at the highest level. And regardless of what sport it is, some of those stats live in infamy for the entirety of that sport's existence, regardless of how good or bad the stat line was. For the NFL, a lot of statistics revolve around the offensive side of the ball, with teams setting good and bad records, all while trying to score points. These records do not always involve strictly offensive players, however, as this list will point out. In the modern NFL, only around 20 players have ever caught less than 10 total yards and have had 2 touchdowns. Tight end Howard Cross took that a step further, catching 2 receptions for only 2 yards. Incidentally, those 2 scores ended up being the New York Giants' only receiving touchdowns for the whole 20-17 victory, and also 2 out of 3 for both teams. The necessary conditions for such a thing to happen are so astronomical that it's surprising that it even happened. It requires a team to get all the way down to the 1-2 times in one game. Then said the team needs to complete 1-yard receptions for touchdowns twice instead of just running it in. Lee Fokins was able to accomplish this back in 1963, and no other player can lay claim to the 2 yards, 2 score stat line. Glenn Milburn has the most all-purpose yards in a single game and didn't score once. These days, it seems every team has a speedy running back that also functions as a highly talented slot receiver, able to rack up all-purpose yards in bunches. This includes Billy Cannon's mythical game in 1961, where he had 373 total yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdowns. However, one player in history has even more yards than that. Glenn Milburn ran for 131 yards, caught for 4-5, and returned for another 133 in 1995, making him the only player to ever cross the 400-yard milestone. Despite his accomplishment, he just couldn't find his way into the end zone. Funnily enough, it wasn't a low-scoring game either, as the final tally was 31-27 in favor of the Seahawks. He just couldn't get a touchdown for the Denver Broncos. The Vikings have never had a starting quarterback play full seasons back-to-back. In 2019, Kirk Cousins has a chance to break a rather strange record. Hopefully no jinxing, but he may become the first Vikings quarterback to ever start the entire season back-to-back since the introduction of the 16-game season. He'll need to improve his play though, as his performance so far in 2019 has left Minnesota fans wanting more. The team just has a history of a high turnover rate at the position. Much of this has to do with injury, as Teddy Bridgewater got hurt after his first full season with the team, and Favre also had injury problems. There's just been a huge revolving door of quarterbacks in and out since the days of Fran Tarkenton. Incidentally, Tarkenton played multiple full seasons, but only when they were 14 games long. It wasn't until the final year that he started 16 times, and he retired right after. Matthew Stafford passed for 443 yards without a touchdown. By the numbers, Matthew Stafford's stats stack up rather well to the best of the best. In addition to being a member of the 5,000-yard club, he passed for at least 4,000 yards from 2011 through 2017 and has never dipped below 20 touchdowns for a full season. He has also played with one of the best wide receivers of all time, Lions great Calvin Johnson. That makes it odd that he wasn't able to toss one to the end zone on December 22, 2012. This was when Megatron was still on the team too, and he had a fantastic game. Stafford hooked up with him 11 times for 225 yards, but it just didn't matter. The Lions ended up losing 18-31, having scored a single rushing touchdown, a handful of field goals, and a safety. Marcus Maye had an interception return for 104 yards with no touchdown. In October of last year, safety Marcus Maye set a record for the longest interception return without a touchdown. After picking off the Denver Broncos deep in their end zone, he was able to advance the ball 104 total yards before an opposing player was able to bring him down at the last yard. For those doing the math at home, he ran the entire length of the 100-yard field and still didn't score. That isn't counting all the weaving he had to do, is scrambling away from would-be tacklers, adding more distance to his running. This isn't the first time something like this happened either, as Champ Bailey once had a 100-yard interception where he got tackled by tight end Ben Watson at the 1. Tell us in the comments section your thoughts. That's it from today's video. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay happy. See you in the next video.